Well, taking a look at our U.S. Cellular text the booth. Text of the ball game. Kathy in Madison from area code 608 asking us today about food. Blanco a small lead at first, and the pitch. Rodriguez takes a strike. Yeah, Kathy's wondering when the games are over and the Brewers are on the road, who cooks the meal inside the clubhouse after the game? Is there a team chef that flies with the crew all year long? The 0-1 pitch, a ground ball to second, could be two. Lopez to Counsell for one. The relay back to first. Double play. The third twin killing the Brewers have turned today, a 4-6-3 Charter Communications double play. And just like that, two down to the Padres 7. Yeah, the answer to that question, Kathy, is yes. The Brewers have a chef, and his name is Bob Uecker. When I do the post-game show, Bob hauls Jesse downstairs and fires up the grill, and he starts making burgers and sandwiches for the guys after the game is over. As Kyle Blanks takes a strike. Kathy, I'm saying that with a small amount of sarcasm. No, that's there's no chef that travels with the team. Coffey's 0-1 pitch, a swing and a miss to Blanks, and it's 0-2. The visiting clubhouse manager sometimes will have food already prepared. Sometimes they'll just make it themselves, the guys in the clubhouse. Other times they'll have just local restaurants kind of cater meals. The 0-2 pitch, strike three call. Beautiful breaking ball. Freezing Kyle Blanks. And the Padres are done in the 7th. No runs, no hits, nobody left. Brewers Radio presented by Kohl's. After 7, it's the Brewers 6, Padres 1.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Seven complete here at beautiful Petco Park in downtown San Diego. The Brewers looking good, leading the Padres 6-1, trying to leave San Diego with a win in this three-game weekend series. The 8th is on. Perdomo still pitching for the Padres, and back to take you home once again. Here's Bob.
All right, Corey, it is going to be Casey McGee to lead things off against Perdomo. And the opening pitch in the 8th is a fastball strike on the outside corner. 91 miles per hour. One strike. Here it is. McGee took it high at the letters, even now at a ball and a strike. Yeah, all that chef stuff and cooking stuff is all a part of baseball today. Some of the, here's the stretch in the pitch. Low and away on Casey, 2 balls and a strike. Some of the kitchens that are installed in these new ballparks would put some of the best restaurants around the country to shame. Matty Smith, who runs the shop in Milwaukee at Miller Park in the home clubhouse. There's a strike on the outside corner. Just received all new equipment following that flood, of course, that took out a lot of stuff down in the tunnel at Miller Park. But yeah, that's the way it is today. Players come to the ballpark and they eat a pregame meal, if so desired. Here's the pitch. McGee swings and fouls, and it's still 2-2. Visiting clubhouse, Phil Rosowitz on the visitor's side, along with his contingent of help over there, always with prepared meals that are catered in. Brought in from local restaurants around Milwaukee, different foodstuffs each and every night. Here's the pitch. McGee took strike 3 called on the inside corner. Casey caught looking. And the batter is going to be Mike Cameron. Cameron walked and scored back in that 5-run 7th. Here's the pitch, and it's off the outside corner. Yeah, years ago there were no cooking privileges or meals served in the clubhouse, save for a sandwich once in a while. Here's the pitch. Cammy took a strike right down the middle. Players would send out to the concession stands for, foodstuffs before the game or after or between games of a doubleheader. The team may always furnish you with a, here's the pitch, outside missing, 2 balls and a strike, 1 tea bag that went around for 25 guys. Get your cup of water and take 1 dip and then hand it to the next guy. And, maybe a big sandwich, one of those killer subs, 4-foot-long jobs. Everybody took a bite. Inside corner, a strike. 2-2 on Cameron. But now the meals are, they're beautiful.
Didn't you tell me a story back in the spring about there were times when during a doubleheader, in between games, you would make a check mark on a erase board or a dry erase board if you wanted a soda or something?
Yeah, here's a strike on Cameron on the outside corner and back-to-back strikeouts. What they had was a cheat sheet, they'd call it. And anytime you took any item out of the clubhouse man would buy all the food. Not food, he would buy candy bars and peanuts and, tobacco and everything else. Because everybody years ago, it seemed like everybody smoked. And the tobacco companies were big sponsors of sports. You remember that?
Sure.
So, they had a sheet up there with everybody's name on it. If you took a candy bar, there was a ball down low on Todd Coffee, 1-1. On that sheet, they had candy bars, tobacco, sodas, or Cokes, Pepsis, whatever they were. Here's the pitch. Coffee took low, and I think it's 2 balls and a strike now. It is. And then if you didn't mark that up there, the clubhouse guy, he'd go up and mark it for you. Nothing was free. And the pitch. That's in there on Coffee, and it's 2-2 now. But the players today have dues that they pay to the clubhouse attendants, and then they take care of the help in the clubhouse out of all those dues. Strike 3 called. Coffee caught looking, and Perdomo strikes out the side. Tell you more when we come back after 7 1/2 Brewers Radio, presented by Kohl's. 6-1 Brewers. Bottom half of inning number 8 is coming on, and the top man in the order, Tony Gwynn, will lead things off, followed by Everett Cabrera and then Adrian Gonzalez. But yeah, the teams do have chefs who come in and work on Sunday mornings. And at Miller Park, there are some of the folks who work in the suites kitchens, come downstairs in the home and visiting clubhouses and do breakfast. That's the main meal. As they did here in San Diego. Dave Bacharach is the visiting clubhouse manager here, and on Sundays or day games for that matter, players come to the ballpark early enough in the morning and they eat a breakfast meal here on cereal, oatmeal, whatever, and eggs, whatever your fancy is. That's what they serve, and that's the way it is around baseball today. I don't know if other sports do that. I don't think they do. I don't think football does that. They eat team meals at the hotel and then go to work. 1 ball and no strikes from Todd Coffey on Tony Gwynn.
I don't know if it's like it today, but I recall stories, the guys that played in the 60s and 50s, that the relationships that they formed with the clubhouse guys, both on the home side,
strike, and it's 1-1.
And inside the visiting clubhouse, those were relationships that went on for years.
Oh, yeah, it's a little bit different today, and free agency makes that. Not what it was years ago, Corey, because, you sign a 2-year. Here's the pitch by Coffey. Gwynn sends a liner in the left, base hit. Today, if you sign a long-term deal, or you're with a club for a couple of years and you decide to leave, you're gone. You're with another club. You may see 6 or 7 clubhouse guys during your career that turn out to be your home clubhouse man. Years ago, you were pretty much, guys stayed with the organization for, the term of their big league career, for that matter. Some teams carry a chef named McDonald, Wendy, PF, and the pitch outside the ball. The visiting, if you talk to players and have them grade visiting clubhouse men, they'll tell you who's the best and who's not, what kind of meals they serve, and what's good and what's not. Swinging a bouncer, right side, base hit. And the Padres have 2 on with nobody out. Here is Adrian Gonzalez, and now they say that ball hit Tony Gwynn. And that call made by Tim Cheetah, the second base umpire, and he has called Tony Gwynn out. Cabrera gets a base hit. And Tim Cheetah said the ball hit him. Bud Black is out there, and Tony Gwynn is going to leave, and it was a sharply hit ground ball, and as Tony Gwynn broke for second, Tim Cheetah, the second base umpire, said that ball hit him in the foot, I think. Bud Black is still talking with Cheetah. Tony Gwynn is talking with Mark Carlson, the first base umpire. It's going to be to no avail, though. He's out, and Cabrera gets a base hit. So there's 1 on with 1 out. When you looked at Gwynn running, the ball didn't deflect. It didn't move either left or right. It continued on its path, headed into right field. And I think that's what the base of the argument is from Bud Black. If it would have hit Gwynn, it would have, carried either right or left. But the ruling stands by Tim Cheetah. It was really hard to tell. I mean, from the naked, or for the naked eye from where we sit, virtually impossible. Because, as I said, the ball continued on its path in the right field. Here is Adrian Gonzalez. Gonzalez, a double and an RBI back in the 6th. Coffee ready and delivers, and that is too low, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Usinger's sausage. And we bring that on the road trips, too. Lots of it. Spicy chorizo, great tasting and dewy. Here's the pitch. 3-0 now, missing off the outside corner. Sports and food items, meal times, all that stuff is a big change from what it was years ago. Here's the pitch. There's a strike on Gonzalez, and it's 3-1. Meals served in clubhouses years ago was unheard of. Players come back for old-timers games or old-timers reunions and walk into these beautiful clubhouses today. They're shocked. Gonzalez, a half swing and a strike, 3-2. Yeah, they don't believe the conditions in the clubhouse. Years ago, a clubhouse was a place to get undressed, put your uniform on, go play, take a shower, and go home. Now it's a place you can live in. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Coffee ready, here it is, and he missed high, and the Padres have 2 on now. Second walk given up by Coffee. And now Kevin Kuzminoff is going to be the batter.
I remember, Uke, when we were in Detroit earlier this year, they have some great old photos of, Greenberg, Al Kaline, and you saw in those days, and you watch some old documentaries, and you'll see it again, all the players in certain eras, they would just sit inside the dugout. That would be their place to kind of sit and chat, not inside the clubhouse.
Nope. Wrigley Field. Wrigley Field, one of the smallest clubhouses in all of baseball. They all were small. As I said, you didn't live in there. You came in there and changed clothes and played the game and then put your clothes back on and left. Here's the pitch, swinging a foul by Kuzminov. Now the clubhouses are expansive. I mean, they're tremendous places with video games, plasma TVs. Heck, some of the clubhouses now, the trainers' facilities are equipped with swimming pools. Whatever it takes nowadays, our swinging a bouncer, hit to third, but foul, are available for the players. Weight rooms that put any big health club to shame. Tremendous workout facilities. It's pretty nice. 2 strikes and nothing on Kevin Kuzminov. Runners are at first and second. Brewers up by 5 at 6-1. Now Todd Coffey ready again. Here it is. Kuzminov took low and blocked by Kendall. Ball 1 and strike 2 on the Padres' third baseman. Today the Brewers are taking a bus trip, though. Going from San Diego to Los Angeles, about a 3-hour ride up the Pacific Coast Highway. Here's the pitch. Kuzminov took that one low. 2-2 now. Charter airplanes. Another nice amenity. Years ago, you rode with everybody else. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Kuzminov bouncer to third. McGee has it. He'll play for Kuzminov with runners moving to second and third. And the batter is going to be Chase Headley. You know, years ago, Corey, and this is long before your time, but the Dodgers had their own airplane, and it was a DC-3. And they would fly the big league team and their AAA affiliate on that team. Then they got a Convair, and they were the only club, I think, at that time that had their own airplane. A couple of clubs that do it today, the Diamondbacks, I guess the Braves probably fly an airline that makes available an airplane for the Braves all the time. Swing and a miss by Chase Headley. But now everybody charters. And I remember when I joined the Brewers back in the early 70s, the Brewers flew commercial and take over they'd take the first 25 rows of an airplane. 2 low, and it's ball 1 and strike 1. And then the regular passengers sat behind the team. And that's the way they travel. Went through the terminal just like everybody else. Today it's all charter and private services that handle the aircraft. In Milwaukee, it's Signature. They do a great job. Here's the pitch. That's 2 low, and it's 2 balls and a strike now on Chase Headley.
In the early 70s, if you guys were going commercial, how often were games postponed or canceled because of just flight delays and flight problems?
Well, there were, I'll tell you what, you got on airplanes many times when people were really upset because you went extra innings, the game went extra innings or didn't start on time, and they kept those people on the ground, and they were upset. They were mad. Strike on the inside corner. Yeah, you got on the airplane, and you won a game or something, and you got on the airplane, and everybody's sneering at you and throwing stuff. And they didn't care about the game or anybody else. They were sitting on the ground for an extra hour waiting for you.
So they held the plane.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, baseball had a big contract with certain airlines at that time, and it was that or lose the contract. Here's the pitch. Headley sends it foul. That happened a lot of times. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and what usually took place was the airline, bought everybody drinks while they were waiting, and that sometimes made it worse because everybody was banged out when you got on the plane, and then they were really getting on you. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Todd Coffey trying to finish it off here. And the pitch. Struck him out swinging, and the inning is over. He did just that. Padres get a couple of hits and strand 2 after 8 complete. Brewers Radio presented by Kohl's. It's 6-1 Milwaukee.